So I ended up with 248 bucks. I left the house, no expectations, just maybe, go out there, do a $50 shop, get it done. If nothing else pops up, come home. Or if something else comes up, maybe do 100 and come home. I ended up doing $248 in 6 hours. All right, it's Sunday. I was just actually sitting at the house having some pizza with the family, and out of curiosity, I just turned on my Walmart Spark app and my Instacart app. Just every once in a while, I like to do that just to kind of monitor, see if there's any good offers out there, or, see kind of what's going on. I left the Instacart on, and as I was finishing up, I just saw an offer pop up for 50 bucks. I thought it was just to Target with the 2 deliveries, and it was like 12 items, and I can't remember the miles. I'll update it at the end. Anyway, when you get something like that, where a quick glance and it's 50 bucks, the Target is right here by my house, literally less than 3 miles away, and not a lot of miles. You just hit accept. You don't spend a lot of time studying the details, because if you do, it's gone. But after I grabbed it, I looked at it, and then I realized it was actually 2 shops and 2 deliveries. So it's really just, it's $50 and it's 2 Instacart deliveries put together is all it is. It's 1 shop at Target and 1 shop at Bed Bath & Beyond. So this will get interesting. Bed Bath & Beyond is in the same parking lot as Target, but I've never shopped there. So we'll see. I'll start the timer. It's 3:45 right now. So I'll time it up, see how long. I mean, if we get this done in less than an hour, we're doing good, and I'll head back home and finish what I was planning on doing for the rest of Sunday, which is getting in the pool and relaxing. So I will keep you posted. So interesting thing, I actually grabbed a DoorDash when I was dropping off all those candles. It was $11 and change for 7 miles, and I know it's a big order. And normally you go, why would you take an $11 DoorDash going 7 miles, especially if it's a big order? Well, the reason I took it is because I was already 4 miles north, and I was gonna have to drive back towards my house, right? So of those 7 miles, actually 5 of those miles would have been miles I was driving anyway. Actually more like 6, because the delivery is right by my house. So the restaurant was on my way home, and the delivery was further on my way home. So that's why I went and took the 11, because it was like $11 to swing by, grab some pizza at the restaurant you're gonna be driving by anyway, and then drop it off right at the wall. So I just dropped that one off. That puts me at like $61. And I just switched over to that Walmart. I took it. It wasn't a banger. It wasn't great. It was a 23 item shop, two deliveries, so 9 items in one, and I think 22 or 23 in the other, something like that. And the delivery was 7 miles over the 2 stops. I took it. I debated it down to the last second, but here's the reason I took it. I took it for you. You're welcome. I took it for you because that's going to put me at about. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to get that done, probably. Depending on how the shop goes, but should go pretty quick. The deliveries are really close to my house anyway. It keeps me in the same area. I was planning on just going home, but that $24 is going to put me like right around 93, 94 bucks, real close to 100. Okay. And that's going to be in about 2 hours. I'm going to be sitting at real close to $100 in 2 hours when I reluctantly accepted that DoorDash Filiberto's. I accepted it for you. I do a lot of things for you guys I normally wouldn't do, but here's why I did it. It was only paying $8. But Damon, I thought your rule was 10. Why would you accept an $8 and change DoorDash order? Couple of reasons. One, I'm sitting at about 93 or 94 bucks right now, and I'm going home. I like to get to 100 if I, go out. That's kind of what I'm doing. Don't get to 100, go home. The Filiberto's is literally right here. It's on the corner where I turn to go to my house. It's right there. Now, I'm going to be early because I just accepted it so I can sit in the parking lot and finish shooting this video. But the delivery is 4 miles. Okay? So 1, it puts me over $100, which it's only $8 difference, but psychologically gives me that $100 rather than saying, oh, I made 94 in 2.5 hours. Number two, the restaurant was right here, and they're only pretty fast. The restaurant's literally right here. Like, I accepted it less than a mile ago. It's right here. And number three, and probably the most important reason I accepted this, the delivery is in my neighborhood. It's in my housing tract. It's a couple streets over from my house. It's one of my neighbors. I was going there anyway, so why wouldn't I take an $8? See, so every rule has exceptions, and this is where one of those exceptions, oh, it's an order of 2 beef tacos. $8 for getting my neighbor 2 beef tacos. Puts me over 100. So let's recap. I left my house at 3:45. It's now 6:20, so a little over 2.5 hours. Also keep in mind, doing the videos actually does take me time. When I'm sitting doing a video or flipping back and forth, I'm faster when I'm not doing the videos. So about 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit more by the time I get down. So I forgot to tell you why I came back to Walmart. So as I was pulling into the driveway thinking I was done, Walmart threw a $40 curbside pickup at me. And I was like, oh man, but you know, it's $40 is $40, and I'm trying to hit $40 an hour. You get a 3 delivery curbside for $40, as long as the miles make somewhat decent sense. That's hard to pass up. That's one load. You go drive, you drop 3. So I almost didn't take it, but let me tell you why I took it. So it's $40, so I was interested, but it was 24 miles. So immediately my brain goes, no way. $40 for 50, because usually it's, you know, I double that, right? Because 25 out, 25 back. And I'm like, no, even with the Tesla, I don't feel like doing it. It's going to take me longer than an hour. But then I looked at the route, and it's not 25 miles out, drop off, 25 miles back. It's 7 miles north of the Walmart. And then I got to come back literally right by the Walmart for the second drop. So after I do the second drop, I'm right back to kind of where I started. And then I got to go out 7.5 miles. So it's 24 miles from right here up, back, out. It's 24. But to come back is not going to be 24 miles because I cut out about 14 of those miles going up and back. So it's 24 miles and then about 10 back. So it's 34 miles. Still not great, you know, because it's 34 total miles and I'm only getting $40, so barely over $1 a mile. But the reason I took it is because I have DoorDash and Uber Eats on, and where this is at, I could get some other deliveries while I'm doing this to kind of double up on those miles, maybe. So we'll see. I'm going to put all 3 addresses into my Tesla here, and we'll start delivering, leave the other apps on. Okay, so I just dropped off my first Walmart order, and as I was hoping, DoorDash threw me a $20 pizza delivery going 9 miles. Now, the nice thing about this delivery, it does deviate a little bit, a couple of miles from my delivery, but it's $20. Most of those miles are on the way to my second, I'd say not most, maybe half of those miles are on the way to my second Walmart drop. It's $20. It's paying me half. This one pizza delivery is paying me half of what the entire Walmart delivery is paying me for all 3. And Walmart's like 34 miles total. So now that 34 miles is going to turn into about 40 miles because I'm going to add this pizza delivery and I'm going to go get the pizza and drop it, because you got a little bit of wiggle room with Walmart. It's fine. You know, very rarely do I have some Walmart customer like staring at their app waiting for their Walmart delivery to get there. It's happened once or twice, but it's not like a dinner delivery usually or something like that where they're just staring like, where is it at? But so this is probably going to make it a total of now like 40 total miles instead of 34. But I'm going to have $60. So now it's putting me closer to $2 a mile by adding this $20 delivery. All right, so what I have here is a situation of asking for forgiveness rather than permission. So I just dropped off the second Walmart, got the pizza dropped off, got the second Walmart dropped off. Walmart has tightened up their tolerances. I haven't done much delivery for a couple of months, and Walmart has tightened up their delivery windows because this is telling me that they're going to cancel the order if it's not delivered by 8:22. Okay. Now I am 7 miles away to this third delivery. It's telling me I'm going to arrive at 8:16, so I'm still good, but I've not given myself much room for error, right? I only got 6 minutes before it says it's going to cancel. And I don't know if that means, I have to complete the delivery by 8:22 or just mark it as like I'm here and scan it. I don't know. But this is a pretty big order too. I picked up a $48 shop on Instacart at the Sprouts. It's 20 items going 5 miles. And now that I say that, I think the freaking Sprouts, what's Sparks saying? Oh yeah, Sparks telling me it's going to cancel at 8:22. I hope Sprouts is open till 10. Because if not, I don't think I'll be able to do this order. But anyway, it's $48. If I can pull it off, it's 20 items going 5 miles. Instacart may cancel that order on me before I can make it back. But it's one of those like, well, if I don't accept it, I definitely don't get it. If I do accept it, there's a chance I can get it. And who wouldn't want to finish off their night? If I grab that, that's going to put me really close. I think that's going to put me over $200. I came out to try to make $100 real quick, and they're throwing so much at me, I'm going to end up with $200 if I can hold on to that. Okay, some good news. Well, I did that last one. It's now 8:20, so I definitely got that delivered in time. They had a bag of salt, water softener salt. I go to pick it up and put it on my shoulder. Salt spills all over the driveway. Keep in mind, I'm like trying to hustle so I can get back to the Sprouts and not lose this $48 order. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me, right? I'm hustling. I've got, cases of sodas and stuff running into the door. I gotta scoop up all the salt on the driveway, put it back in the bag. There's a big old hole in the bottom. I scooped it up, put it back in the bag, and then now I gotta knock on the door and tell the guy, right? I can't just, I picked it all up, piece by piece, put it back in, and so it's fine. I mean, it just goes in the water softener anyway. But I gotta tell the guy. If I don't tell the guy and I just set it vertical with the top, and the hole's like this big on there, right? If I don't tell him, he'll probably do the same thing, put it on his shoulder, and just everything spills out. So I knock on the door. Keep in mind, I'm trying not to act hurried, right? And I'm just like, hey, sorry to bother you, but I want to let you know about the salt. And he goes, oh yeah, no problem. I was like, just be careful, hold it this way. So anyway, after all that, I finally get everything dropped off, take a photo. I'm jogging back to my car. I'm like, there's no way Instacart hasn't told me, hey, you're too far or whatever. Because I saw a notice on the way to that house that says, you're far from the store. Do you need directions? No, I don't need directions. I just need to finish the delivery and get going that way. Anyway, I jump in the car, start leaving, and I'm like, across my fingers, and I look to see if Instacart's giving me you gotta shop by this time. And I don't have that notice yet, okay? I'm only 6 minutes away, so we are good. And then I double checked, this Sprouts is open until 10. So I'm not gonna have to worry about having to do a shop in 15 minutes. That was easy. It's 9 o'clock right now. I don't remember what time I went in there, but I know I got that other delivery done by 8:22. And then I had a 10-minute drive to that. So I probably went in there about 8:35. So that 21 item shop only took me, and Sprouts is not as fast as Walmart. And this one was a pretty good shop. There was only one item out of stock, some salty chocolate bars. $5 salty chocolate bars, which kind of sucks because she wanted 4 of those. So that's $20 off the bill. So, and most people tip as a percentage, right? So $20 lighter. And if it's this is a $48 shop. So the tip was pretty good. Now, it could have been a flat tip. It could have been a flat $40. And then I got 8 as the base. That could be it. And if that's the case, that's great because then the tip doesn't go down. But if it's a percentage, I think the bill was 200 and something. So $20 in chocolate bars, that's 10% off. So there's a chance that I might lose $5 because, well, it wouldn't be but on the tip. So let's say the tip was around $40. there's a chance I could lose $4 because the chocolate bars were in there. So maybe it comes out to like $44 or $45 instead of 48 something. Either way, it's a hell of a deal. The shop only took me 20, 25 minutes. The delivery is 8 minutes away. That's, 35, let's call it, let's round off to 40 minutes. Doing gig work, making $48 in 40 minutes, I will take it. But, if you're trying to do like $100 a day just for some extra money, and then you're out and there's a day that just keeps, you got your $100 and they just like, wait, no, how about 50 more? Wait, before you go, here's 50 more dollars, please, take 50 more. Wait, here's 48 more. Wait, here's 40 more, take this, right? So sometimes you stay out and you do it, and then you take the day off tomorrow, right? Like, what's wrong with making, I'm gonna end up close to $250 by the time I get home. And then if you're trying to, like I said, if you're trying to do $100 a day and you have a day that's going really good, you just, if you can, stay out and keep making the money while it's good, right? Make the hay while the sun shines, because there will be days where you're out and it's just dead. And you're just like grinding out, trying to make $100, and you end up like I did the other night. I was out like 4 hours to make $100. I was like, man, that's only $25 an hour. But then here I am tonight, I'm killing $40 an hour. So I'm out a little bit longer tonight, but I'm making $200. All right, well, I'm home. It is almost 10 o'clock. And so I did recap of the night. I actually did one other Walmart right when I was coming home. It was $25 for a quick shop, $12 going a couple of miles. So I grabbed that just to finish. Why not? I was already like, it was late enough at night. Might as well finish out the night. So I ended up with $248. I left the house, no expectations, just maybe, go out there, do a $50 shop, get it done. If nothing else pops up, come home. Or if something else comes up, maybe do 100 and come home. I ended up doing $248 in 6 hours. That also included a trip home, also included doing the video and the filming and stuff, which does take me extra time. And so a little over $40 an hour. It's good information for sure. It'd help a lot of people learn how to make some extra money in this crappy economy. And I say crappy economy, but it depends on who you are. Because if you have assets, the economy's great. But if you don't have assets, the economy sucks. Because you got to get on that asset train. Otherwise, inflation is going to kill you. You're not going to be able to earn your way out of this economy. You got to get ahead of it. You got to get out of debt, and you got to get that money that you're spending on debt. You got to shift that over into putting that money into assets that will appreciate and grow. That's how you're going to, they say rising tide lifts all boats. But if you don't have a fucking boat, you're going to drown. You need to get a boat. It's not going to be lifting you up. You're going to be drowning. You need a fucking boat. And you can't get a boat if you have all this debt. So you got to make extra money, get out of debt, and then not literally, don't go buy a boat, but figuratively, you got to have a boat on the water. So when it rises, you are rising with everybody. The boat is assets. You got to have assets, money in the stock market, real estate, whatever. You have to have assets. And then as the assets rise, and they rise because the dollar is devalued. That's anybody that's not aware of how this whole system works by now. Well, if you're watching this video, you're aware of it. The dollar is just going to continually get devalued. So you got to have your wealth in things that go up in terms of dollar value, which is how you hedge against inflation. You just have money sitting in the bank, you're losing money. Money sitting in the bank, sitting in a savings account, making a couple of % interest, losing money. You got to have it in assets. You got to have it invested. And these gig apps are ways you can make extra money to get yourself out of debt. So you can take this extra money in the gig apps and the money from your income or business or whatever and get more of it into assets. So eventually your money is making money for you, because you can't just trade time for money for the rest of your life. Well, you can, but you will struggle for the rest of your life if that's your plan. Okay, that's enough for tonight.